Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, you're coming along with me on a bit of a life in a day vlog, but with a twist. So today we're going on an artist date together in London. If you don't know what an artist date is, it basically is one of the philosophies of The Artist's Way by Julia Margaret Cameron. She wrote a book about how to unblock yourself as a creative. It has different pillars or rules that you need to follow, such as journaling and going on these artist dates. An artist date is a block of time. It can be 40 minutes, half a day, a whole day, a weekend, a week, where you have to go out and do things by yourself in the world, and they have to be fulfilling to you. They do not need to be related to the art that you make. So if you're a writer, they don't need to be about writing, or it doesn't have to be about going to a reading or going to visit an author. It can be about anything, literally anything that strikes your mood. It can be going to a DIY store and just walking down the aisles. The main rule is that it has to be by yourself, and it should be something that you want to do, or that intrigues you or challenges you in some way. I used to do this quite frequently back when I was actually doing and following The Artist's Way, which I completed. I completed fully, apart from the bit in The Artist's Way that said go on a trip as your extended artist date. I didn't manage to do that one bit, so I always thought, oh, I'll go on that later, and I haven't yet, so we will do that together probably. I'm using these videos as a way of accountability. So last year I got married and my business became busier than ever before, so the artist dates basically had to take a back seat. I actually did the pottery video that you guys saw, the pottery sessions, during that crazy year, but that's only because I had booked it and planned it way before all of this stuff was happening. So I'm kind of glad that it turned out that way, because it gave me something to do that was creative, and I was fully in the moment, and I've been waiting 20 years to try. If you had asked me then, do I have time to go to pottery, I'd say no, but because it was pre-booked and it's something I'd wanted to do for 20 years, I let myself go and attend that session, and it was honestly the time of my life. I'm hoping to restart those artist dates in this year, and I know we're halfway through the year. I mean, it's September right now. But yeah, I just didn't realise that I haven't been doing them, and then one day I was like, oh, I haven't been on an artist date in I don't remember how long. So on this day in my life, this day started out me at my desk, kind of really haphazardly, not haphazardly, very high focusedly doing the work. So I did that for the first few hours, hopped into an Uber. Now, I don't ever get Ubers really, because I just feel like it's London, we have great transport, but there was no way I was getting to my yoga class on time, and I really needed to move my body. So as a way of self-care, and I feel like that's definitely a part of this artist date, taking care of ourselves. It's one of the philosophies that Julia Margaret Cameron actually advocates for. She says you should take care of yourself the way you would a friend or someone else. Use it as utmost priority, and that way it's life-changing. We all know this, but obviously we live in real life and these things take a back seat sometimes. I hopped into my Uber, headed straight to my yoga class. I was having a bit of banter with my teacher at the start. He's a really nice guy. I've been going to that class for 4 years now, and everyone there is so lovely. I love the community as well. Yeah, had a great time at yoga. In this particular yoga class, we were doing something we don't normally, or we hadn't done much of before, which was this river dancing move. Because it's quite an active class that I go to. I go to different types. This one is quite active. I think it's called Kundalini yoga. Yeah, so it's very creative. He gets very creative, and I really enjoy it. And we were doing this river dancing move for ages. I guess to get the heart rate up and get yourself moving, and we do it to really fun music as well, which helps. We did lots and lots of up dog, down dog to up dog, down dog to up dog. By the way, I love doing down dog to up dog. That's my favorite sequence. You can do down dog, plank, up dog, or you can just go from down dog to up dog. I prefer doing down dog to up dog. It just flows easier for me, and he normally sets 5 minutes where you just do that and there's no breaks. Obviously you can take breaks if you need to. So love that part of yoga, and then finished up my yoga class and headed to get a open burrito bowl. I needed to fill my body with nutrients. So my burrito bowl has chicken, lettuce, guacamole. I always get the guacamole even though it's an extra charge. I think it had sweet corn and tomatoes and jalapenos and cheese. I don't get the sour cream. And then on this day I decided to get the cracked tortilla chips on top. Oh, and obviously the base is the rice and the pinto beans as well, which is great. I get black rice and pinto beans. And I love that after I do a workout because it's healthy, it's nutritious, and it's just like a bit of me time. And then I headed onto my very long commute. I'm saying very long because when you go from North London to South London, it's just such a trek. But I went all the way to Sloane Square. I haven't been to Sloane Square in so long that I was not ready for the sensory overwhelm because I live in a quiet neighbourhood. I just don't remember Sloane Square being so busy. It was like busier than Oxford Street, or as busy as Oxford Street. I was really admiring all the cute things because it's a nice part of town, so all the architecture's stunning, which I didn't really get to show you in this video. This day in the life was an extremely busy one for me, so I was hoping to talk to the camera, but it was just like one thing, next thing, next thing, next thing. I had like no time, no recovery time whatsoever. That's why I'm doing this bit for you. So yeah, Sloane Square has like these lovely red Victorian townhouse buildings. There was a cute little flower stand outside the tube station, which I loved. I had remembered the Saatchi gallery being really close to the station, and it wasn't. It was like a 10-minute walk. So I decided to just have a little bit of a side street walk before I went over to the gallery. And I was actually stressed this day because I realized I had booked my slot at the gallery way too close to my yoga class ending, and I was like, there's no way I'm making it from this end of town to the other end of town in time. And I had to phone the gallery the day before, and I was like, oh my god, I live really far away, I'm working really far away, is there a way you can change the slot, can you refund the ticket? And the lady was just so chill. She was like, it's not going to be busy, it's fine, just come in whenever you want. And I was like, what? Because normally I tried to do that at the National Gallery before, not on purpose, like there was an emergency and I was like, I really want to see this show. At first they were like, no. They phoned someone and they were like, okay, we'll let you change your ticket. I felt very lucky that happened. My favorite form of art over music, over movies, over TV shows is looking at still pictures. So whether that's photography or illustration or painting, those are things that I really love and make me feel alive. Anyway, rocked up to the Saatchi. The lady didn't mind that, you know, she didn't even say anything about my time being later, but it was busy. I would say I was she said, oh, the lady on the phone said, oh, you know, it's a Friday, it's a weekday, I don't think it's a problem, you know, you could just come in whenever. But it was busy, the show was busy. I went quite near the end of the show closing, so I was thinking maybe it's like people who didn't want to miss the show, because I only found out about the show a few days ago, maybe like 2 days before. I saw a friend posting about it on Instagram, and I was like, oh my god, thank you so much for telling me, because I love flowers, I love botanicals, I love nature. A huge topic in women's art has been botanicals and flowers. I went to an exhibition and it was all these unsung female artists, and I loved it because it was all things that me and my friends love to make, whether it's crafting, sewing, clay, things that are named girly or named as a craft rather than fine art. Going to that exhibition was really affirming, because women were making art back in the day, back in Van Gogh's day and Picasso's day and, you know, Renoir's day. They had always been making art rebelliously because they couldn't get agents, but they still made the art and they just were not represented properly, and thus they're left out of history. Funnily enough, I did a job and I met the curator who curated that exhibit, and I was like geeking out about it with her, and she was so happy that it had touched me, I guess, because as a curator, maybe you don't know how it affects the audience. You just do the work and then you know the numbers of people that can come in, but I doubt you get to interact with random strangers who saw the work that you put into the exhibit. So that was cool for her, cool for me. She was a really nice lady. That's a long tangent to explain why I really wanted to catch this flowers exhibition at the Saatchi, and I'm so happy that my friend posted about it, because I'm so busy all of the time. I don't see everything. Do you know what really annoys me? We get so many targeted ads on Instagram and all the social media stuff. When it's something I actually really want to go to, like I really wanted to go to Alanis Morissette's concert, but I only found out about it like 2 days before the last date. And I was like, well, this is inconvenient because I can't go. That really annoyed me. And it happens all the time with painting exhibitions that I really want to see. but I see the ad after it's closed. Then you see ads for irrelevant stuff all the time in good time. That's, you know, one of my pet peeves. Okay, so really happy that my friend posted about it, managed to book a ticket. It was a very inconvenient time. You know, that week was a really work heavy week for me, and I was like, oh God, you know, praying that all my work is done before the Friday and I can go and do this exhibition. I think I ended up working the weekend because I was like, oh, not everything is done yet. Yes, I ended up working all of Sunday, so that's life. That's a freelance life. The thought did come into my mind like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go to this show. Maybe I should just not go and do the work, stay home and do the work. And then I thought, well, I've spent money on it. If I've booked something, like, I feel a lot more drive to do it because I feel like, oh, that's a waste of resources. Somebody else could have had the ticket. So that's a really good way of managing myself. So I do that with fitness classes. I will look at my schedule and I will book things. That's a way where I like force myself to do things basically. And it works really well. I've never skipped something I've booked. I was feeling like, oh, should I be indulging in this afternoon of art? But then I went to the exhibition and oh my God, I had forgotten how beautiful the Saatchi gallery actually is. And it actually like reminded me of being a student. I think, well, I have so many memories. I have a memory from when I was like a tiny child, and we looked at abstract art. It was an exhibit of abstract art. And then we went and made our own art in a little classroom somewhere in the building. And then it had rained and we were like running on this wet gravel, and I just remember sitting on a tree and just like smiling ear to ear because I was so fulfilled by the whole experience. And because I was so young, it was in primary school, I might have been like 8 years old. I don't recall what the gallery name was, and I've always thought, I think it's the Saatchi because they have gravel. Now the gravel is like cemented or like flattened out. Back then I remember the gravel being crunchy, and I remember going as a uni student or a A-level student and the gravel being crunchy. So I feel like it might have been the Saatchi, but I'm not 100% sure. In my mind, it has always remained the Saatchi. So I have fond memories of the space. Yeah, I was just so excited to be in the building. It's such a beautiful space, and I was really happy that they let me in later on and they didn't say anything about it. They're really kind. And I just made my way through the exhibit. It was a collection of botanicals, and they had everything from William Morris. I love William Morris. He was a wallpaper designer or like home decor textile designer in the Victorian era. He wanted to make beautiful home goods for working class people. So he actually started out as somebody who was catering to working class people, whereas now the brand is really known for its luxury, I guess. So it's kind of gone in the opposite direction, but it is renowned and people love it. It just really made me want to visit the William Morris Museum, which I have never been to. I only found out that it exists last year or the year before, but maybe we can go on another artist date together and we can go to that gallery. That would be really cool. But I loved seeing the William Morris section of the exhibit where there were like half done designs or designs in progress, and just the sketches in the books and the things, the exhibits on the wall. It was just really fun to see. And the collection of artwork, it was incredibly diverse. So it was sculpture, photography, painting, printmaking, textiles. There was a whole bit of fashion with actual dresses and jewelry even. I didn't film every single thing, but I did film so much. I filmed so much. I filmed everything that I wanted to remember, which doesn't mean that the rest wasn't good. It was really good, but I filmed everything that I kind of wanted to reference and remember. And I do that. I don't know if you guys do that. When I go to exhibitions, I take a lot of pictures, and I take sometimes I take videos, and then I never look back. So I'm hoping having it in this video format will help me kind of look back and reference it, and maybe it will help you reference it. If you didn't get to go to this exhibit, it's like you're coming with me. But yeah, there were so many pieces that I truly loved. My absolute favorite was the sculpture, the life-size dry flower sculpture, which you could walk in and out of with, I'm guessing that was made of thousands and thousands and thousands of florals. And it's kind of like a giant mobile, you know, like the mobile that kids have above their cots. It's kind of like that. So you're just standing there and it's like, it does move a little bit. And they do say don't touch it, of course, but you can like weave around it. So I love how immersive it was. And I really took most of my time in that room, I think. I mean, I took my time everywhere, but I was in that room for a long time. And so many other people, I loved watching other people. So many other people were just like dumbfounded, mouth open, like filming, just staring at it, looking up at it. And every time you looked at it, there was more to see. There was something else to see. The different ways the flowers were, you know, like sewn together or arranged together. It reminded me of flower garlands in different cultures. And in my family, people in my family used to make flower garlands and for special occasions to like welcome people and even for weddings and stuff. So it kind of reminds me of that, but obviously we use live, like recently living flowers rather than the dried flowers that she used. But there was something so stunning about it. It was very, very beautiful, but also kind of like reminding you, there was an eeriness to it, I guess. I really liked seeing the Andy Warhol flower prints. I think they were screen prints because I've been teaching about them recently and it was just really cool to see them in person. And I really liked the painting right next to it, this massive, more modern painting, kind of the artist's take on the Andy Warhol flowers, but in a new way. And I liked the composition of that. I liked the layout of that. The curators curated that really well. There were also, there was a tattoo artist featured and there were photographs of him, his work on different women's bodies, and they were all tattoos of botanicals. And I was like, yes, I've never seen tattoo artists be featured in a museum like that before. So I really enjoyed that. And I loved the sculptures. There were these sculptures made of metal spoons, and they were just like these big fat vase bouquets of flowers that were, it felt like they were living because obviously they're sculptures and you just walk around them and they just really take up the space and exist and are mesmerizing in a way. And there was a huge print, I think it was a painting of a photograph that had been inverted, and the artist decided to paint the inverted version of the photograph. So there's something uncanny about it when you look at it. Is more like pop art, I guess. There were just so much that I loved, all the textures, all the colors, all the line. What I really enjoyed about the Saatchi is that a lot of the plaques said, please inquire, this painting is for sale. And I really like that. It's obviously because the Saatchi represent living artists, which is great, but I really also enjoy just like the support of living artists. I know it's like the Saatchi who's representing them, it's business, but I don't know, there's something nice about having that there and then the Andy Warhol and the more archival stuff all mixed into one. And there were even these Converses that had been hand embroidered by someone who became like TikTok famous or something. And I just loved that it was such a diverse range of work that did not need to adhere to being fine art or just this one type of art, if that makes sense. So yeah, I really enjoyed it and it was fun. I was feeling really tired by the end of it and I was like, okay, my bag is heavy, I need to get home. Oh yes, because I had my yoga mat. It was the second time I ever checked my stuff in, because normally I just carry my stuff around museums. But because my yoga mat was so massive, I was like, I'm not going to carry this around the museum. So I actually checked my stuff in. And I was like, I need to get home, but I'm hungry. And so on the way home, just next to the station, there was this place called Buns from Home, which I've seen around London for a while now, but I've never ever tried. And I didn't even know that it was just sweet buns. I thought they'd be like savoury buns. But yeah, I was second in line and I decided to get the pistachio cinnamon roll. I think they're all cinnamon rolls. I think that's like the premise of the business. Anyway, it was like this cinnamon roll with all this pistachio coming out of it. And I was like, oh, if I get one, I have to get my husband one. So I bought two. And it's a shame because I really wanted to film more on this day, but my phone was dying because I'd been out all day and I'd filmed the yoga class and everything. And I forgot to take my power bank. But I was like, okay, need to save my battery, but also need to eat this thing. So I was just like sat on a bench in the tube station waiting for my train and like eating half of this bun. And then I was like, okay, that's enough, because that'll give me energy to get home and I need to also have dinner. And then I came home, and the next clip is of me sharing my cinnamon roll with my husband. Pistachio cinnamon roll that I bought from that bun place, and it looks amazing. I actually ate half of it on my way home because I was feeling faint. So that's my half-eaten one. The inside was warm and so soft. It was honestly one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life, and I'm going to give this one to my husband now. It doesn't stand up. It's basically falling on its side because there's so much pistachio on the top. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for making it to the end. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope it was fun seeing all of the artwork and the prints and all the details and having all of that lovely art just in your eyes for the last few minutes. And I hope it felt like you got to attend the exhibit if you were unable to make it, or if you didn't know about it, or if you were too far. I hope we get to go on some more artist dates together, because I need the accountability truly, and I really enjoyed this time. It was very fulfilling for me. I feel very inspired and joyful and grateful to have been able to witness these artworks in this exhibition. And comment down below what your favourite piece of art was. Mine was definitely the flower installation. Let me know what other artist dates you think we should go on. What other things would you like me to try in London or the surrounding area? I hope you're really well, and I'll see you again very soon. Don't forget to subscribe, because I'll be back here on Monday. I'll see you then. Bye!